All right, so we're about to begin here. So again, everybody should have two handouts. One's called Vision Solutions. One is the actual presentation. If you do not, we have some extra copies up here. Okay? Again, if you're more than welcome to sit down instead of stand, but that's your preference for this. Okay, so again, welcome everybody to Weiner Wellness Week. March Madness 2015. Okay, my name is Mike Gallagher. For those who don't know me, just a quick background on me. I am a certified lifestyle educator. I've been in nutrition now for almost 20 years. I've worked with hundreds of doctors, hundreds of different modalities. There isn't too much that I have not heard in 20 years when it comes to health. I'm only here during these wellness events. Normally I travel around to different offices. So I work with a lot of different, as I said, modalities. So I work with a few MDs, medical doctors. I work with a few DOs. I work with a lot of chiropractors in the area. I work with pharmacists, nutritionists, kinesiologists, naturopaths, hypnotherapists, psychologists, pretty much every profession you can think of in natural health. And everybody looks at health a little bit different ways. But again, the emphasis that we try to do, the basic concept of everything that we try to emphasize is, number one, eating. All starts with your food, making the right food choices. Number two, reducing stress. Number three, exercising. And then using very specific nutrients in the right therapeutic dosing to get the fastest, quickest results. So that's the emphasis of all of our programs. But one of the things here, and we're going to talk about today, is, of course, we get asked a lot of questions about, is the eyes, vision issues. So we put together here a program that will help with pretty much every single eye issue that there is. So everything, of course, from starting to lose your vision, whether it's close proximity or far, to things such as blurriness, floaters. We get asked a lot of those kind of questions, to more serious issues, cataracts and macular degeneration. So we have to be careful how we state our help with these situations. We can't make any claims. But what we can say is we can slow down the progression of these very serious eye issues. And when we say slow down, we're talking to a halt. Okay, so the earlier we catch these issues, the more aggressive that we are nutritionally, the greater result we can do, right? So I'm always jealous of dentists, because dentists, people have that ingrained in your mind. They go there and get their checkup, they get their teeth cleaned, they get their, x-rays and so forth and so on, and they usually catch things. If you make routine visits with dentists, they usually check things before they get serious. With eyes, it's a little bit different. A lot of people don't do anything until they have cataracts or have macular degeneration. And so we always, again, the earlier we can start with dealing with the eyes, the better off we can be, okay? So we have had some tremendous testimonials with some of these formulas, including Dr. Weiner has talked about some of these formulas, who used it himself personally and knows the difference when he went back and saw his optometrist on it. But this is the whole program for us at Nutritional Frontiers. 2020 is a brand newer herbal tincture. We'll talk about that. Fish oil, of course, can help on so many different levels, but especially your eyes. And you maybe never thought about it before with the eyes. Pro Reds is one of our fruit and veggie drinks. And again, there's key nutrients in there to help support the eyes. And then Astaxanthin, which for those who are not familiar with that, very powerful antioxidant. So we'll be talking about these. Now you can do any of these or all of them. The more serious the eye issue, the more that we would highly recommend all of them. So again, keep that in mind. But all will help on certain one level or another when you're talking about the eyes. All right, so let's talk about 2020. That is the goal, of course, 2020. So we thought this name fit the appropriate condition here. So this is an herbal tincture. So let's break these down here. Okay, so I'm just going to pass this around. If you've never seen this before, some of you I already talked to earlier today. So just pass it around. Just make sure you are aware what that looks like. So some of these herbs have been used for thousands of years. Thousands. Some of these herbs you might not be familiar with, but we're going to just kind of give you a little brief synopsis of these. So eyebright, white pond lily, ginkgo, horsetail, bellberry, goji, passionflower, chrysanthemum flowers, plantain herbs, lycium fruit. All of these help on some capacity when it comes to the eyes. Okay? So let's break these down a little bit more. And you have the flyer on this in the back as well. So, as some of you said, it's a little bit challenging to read. If you have eye problems, we understand that, but we do have the flyers on the back for you. So eyebright. So eyebright has been used to help with irritations due to the eyes and nasal passages as well. Itching, tearing, okay? Herbalists have used this for more your allergy type of inflammatory when it comes to the eyes. So that's where eyebright comes into the picture. White pond lily. So white pond lily, most people have never heard of. In fact, when I'm talking to even naturopaths who study herbs for a living, a lot of them are not familiar with this herb, white pond lily. But it's got that name because it's found in our streams, our marshes and ponds throughout North America. It has many different functions, has many different characteristics, okay? But in traditional Chinese medicine, so we're talking over 2,000 years when we're talking about traditional Chinese medicine, it has been used for all eye inflammatory issues. So again, redness, swelling, the more serious issues as well for the eyes, white pond lily. Ginkgo, a lot of people know about ginkgo. Helps increase blood circulation. Used in Europe, China, France, and Germany to prevent progression of age-related macular degeneration. Ginkgo. With some research studies have showed it actually improves vision. Ginkgo. Ginkgo biloba. Okay? It specifically increases circulation to the optic nerve, reducing free radical damage. So that is the key with ginkgo, and perhaps it plays a role in reducing and preventing blindness with glaucoma. Okay? Horsetail. Little trivia question here for you. Horsetail, this herb, is one of the oldest species of plants on the earth. Horsetail. It gets its name because it actually looks like a horse. Okay? But it is a very concentrated source of silica. Silica has lots of different benefits. Good for the skin, good for the bones, good for the hair, good for connective tissue. But in traditional Chinese medicine, so again, anytime we reference traditional Chinese medicine, we're talking over 2,000 years. This has been used for, again, for all eye issues, especially allergies associated with eyes. Then we get into your antioxidants here, bilberry and blueberries. So, a lot of people might be familiar with this. Dr. Oz has made bilberry a household name for those who watch his show. Bilberry contains anthrocyanosides, which are the pigments found in this fruit. And these are very rich in antioxidants. They strengthen your blood vessels, improve circulation. Very interesting though, bilberry is known for night vision. Again, a little trivia here. All the way back to World War II, British fighter pilots reported better night vision when they ate bilberry jam. They noticed a tremendous difference in night vision. So it goes all the way back to World War II. Blueberries, of course, also very powerful antioxidants, very rich in carotenoids such as lutein and zeaxanthin. So blueberries are a natural source of lutein and zeaxanthin. They help on the free radical aspect and prevent cellular damage. Then we get into these specific, the Chinese herbs. One is known as chrysanthemum flowers. Another one is lycium fruit. Again, been used for improving circulation, eye issues, allergy issues. Chrysanthemum is thought to be a good source of lutein. Lutein, it's a natural source of lutein. And this is specifically have been shown to help decrease cataracts. Okay, so there's supplement companies that we sell here, lutein. This is a natural source. Also, there's lutein has been shown, or we can say might reduce the risk of age-related macular degeneration, improved visual function, and ocular inflammation. So the whole hypothesis here, we keep saying these free radicals, right? So the whole thought process is that these conditions, cataracts and macular degeneration, are a mechanism, a self-defense mechanism for your retinas due to oxidative damage. Free radicals. So again, I always use the analogy, free radicals are like rust on a bicycle, okay? And over time, that rust gets worse and worse, right? We're now talking about rust on your cells, and those are the free radicals attacking it. And they can attack any major organ in your body. In this case, they're attacking your eyes, which is leading to cataracts and macular degeneration. So the whole thought process, if we attack these very aggressively with the right supplements, with the right nutrients, we can reduce this rust on your cells. So there is some really good research behind it. So that's the whole thought process of that. Okay? Then we get into the lycium fruit, also known as goji berries. So a lot of people are familiar with goji berries. Very few people are familiar with lycium fruit. It's the natural source of goji. But goji, there's, again, very rich in flavonoids, very powerful antioxidant, and in traditional Chinese medicine, lycium has been shown to strengthen your eyes and your vision. It's lycium. Then we get into passionflower, another herb. It has lots of purposes, but for this purpose, we're using it for eye strain, which is becoming, again, and more of a problem. So many people look at computers every day for their job. They get headaches, migraines, sensitivities. So passionflower for this purpose has been shown to help with that. I had a doctor recently just used it just for this purpose. He called me in 2 weeks. He said, guess what? I don't have any more eye strain using 2020. Just 2 weeks. So I've had really good results just on that aspect. And last, plantain. Plantain, another herb. Again, has many, many benefits. For this purpose, though, when you combine it with the chrysanthemum, it's a powerful 1-2 combination for improving your vision. That is what the research has shown. And for reducing conjunctivitis, another eye disorder. So if you know anybody with that situation, this, again, will help them on that level. The way we dose this, very simple. As most of our tinctures, 2 droppers full in the morning and 2 in the evening with a glass of water, tea, or juice. Okay? It is alcohol-based. We use that as a preservative. So just add enough liquid to dilute that taste. Now, if you don't mind alcohol, you want a shot of whiskey in the morning, go right ahead. Okay? Some people don't mind it. Some people do mind it. So that's why we recommend to dilute it. Dilute it, just enough liquid so you don't taste the alcohol. Very simple, very easy to dose. Okay? Any questions before we move on with the 2020? Yes?
Says if you're taking any medication, what kind of medication?
Yeah, so that's your standard label, warning label. The one medication that we would be concerned about, which we are concerned about with any supplement, is Coumadin or warfarin. Okay? It's not life or death, but you have to get checked more frequently anytime you add a supplement if you're on Coumadin. Typically, it takes 6 weeks for Coumadin levels to balance yourself out. But we recommend anytime if you're on Coumadin, to get checked 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks for 6 weeks straight. You will have the battle with your cardiologist. He does not want you to take any supplements while on Coumadin, okay? Because he doesn't feel like taking a minute out of his time to retest you on your Coumadin, okay? So you have to have very strong intestinal fortitude if you're on Coumadin. But it's not life or death, nothing like that. It just slightly alters the Coumadin levels, okay? That's really the only drug to be cautious about. Any other questions? Make sense? So this would be our number one. If you had a limited budget, you can only do one thing for your eyes, this would be it, 2020. Now, if you look at the price on that bottle, $37 normally, okay? That one bottle lasts about 2 to 3 weeks. 2 to 3 weeks. Of course, it's 30% off of that. So it's like $10, $11 off this week during the sale. If you were to buy every one of these herbs separately, the price would be $137. Okay? That is the beautiful thing about herbs and a tincture. You can make a lot of them and keep the price as minimal as possible. Okay? So that is one of the reasons why we really like tinctures, because we can put a lot of different things together and still keep the price affordable for you. Okay? So I'm not saying 37 isn't a lot. It is. It is a lot. But it's a lot better than if you were to buy every one of these separately. Okay? All right. Moving on. The second most important formula for your eyes, for us, is Astaxanthin. So a very long-sounding name there. Astaxanthin is a very powerful antioxidant. So we just talked about that whole rust on your cells, right? Astaxanthin is very powerful. So I always use the analogy, what happens if we were to cut a lemon, or excuse me, if we cut an apple in half and we let it sit there for about half an hour, what happens to that apple? Turns brown, right? What if we take lemon and we squeeze lemon juice on that apple? What happens to the apple? What's that? Stays the same color, or it's still brown, or it goes back to its original color? Goes back to its original color. Why is that? Well, primarily because of the vitamin C. Vitamin C is a very powerful antioxidant. Now, why am I bringing that up? Well, there's a classic example of free radical damage. That free radical on the apple, once oxygen hits, it turns brown. Okay, again, that's what's happening in our cells, in this case, our eyes. But astaxanthin has been shown to be, I've seen some studies, at least 1,000 times stronger than vitamin C on an antioxidant level. It's that powerful. Much stronger than vitamin E as well. Okay, so very, very unique as far as how powerful it is. Now, the other unique thing about our source of astaxanthin, and again, actually ours is derived from blue-green algae, okay? Most astaxanthin is derived from krill oil, and we do have astaxanthin in our krill oil. In fact, we have twice as much astaxanthin as any other krill oil on the market, by the way. But ours, on this particular formula, it actually is derived from blue-green algae. And we're using a process here, a manufacturing process that's very, very unique to the industry. It's called supercritical extraction. So me and Jamie, we go to the largest raw material shows in the world. And not only do we hear about the latest, greatest ingredients and nutrients and things of this sort, but we also see the latest technological advancements on how they manufacture these ingredients. And this is the newest of the new, this supercritical extraction. So it's a very complicated process that we're simplifying here, but it's an advanced technology using CO2 that gently extracts the ingredients from its natural source without any chemicals, solvents, heat, or alcohol. Which most of the time, that's how they're extracting these. So this is the purest source of astaxanthin in the world right now, is this process. Okay, so that is what gives it very, very unique. But reason why we're recommending this for the eyes, because there's a lot of research on it for the eyes, tons of studies. And again, what's one thing medical community says about supplements? Medical doctors like to use that line a lot. Oh, there's no research. Really? They are just not aware of the research. No one's actually shown them the research. They're not looking for the research. So here are several studies that have been done. Here's on the research on astaxanthin with the eyes. Especially a lot of this comes from Japan. So at just 5 milligrams a day of astaxanthin for 1 month showed a 54% reduction in eye fatigue. 54%. Depth perception in 1 month showed 46% improvement in depth perception in just 1 month. Okay? This is the scientific technical term for eye fatigue. And again, we're looking at 4 to 6 milligrams a day. How much do you get with us in one serving? You get 4 milligrams. 4 milligrams. 1 dropper full. Okay? So I'm just going to pass it around for you so you can check that out if you've never seen that before. On that, here's another study that concluded astaxanthin had similar, if not better, anti-inflammatory effects versus prednisone, which is the #1 drug that optometrists will use for the eyes, is prednisone. Okay? Concluded had the same benefits without any of the side effects. Astaxanthin. It's that powerful. It's that powerful, folks, for this. Okay? Now, the other thing about this is that we added vitamin D to this bottle as well. So it's 5,000 IUs of vitamin D plus 4 milligrams of astaxanthin per serving. So this would take the place of your vitamin D. This is really 2 things in one. Now, it's so pure that you want to put this directly in the mouth. Okay, it has like a semi-sweet taste to it. There's no sweeteners. We're using safflower oil as an oil base. But a lot of people who try this can't believe how good it tastes. There's no aftertaste. There's nothing. But you want to put it directly right into your mouth and then wash it down with water. Okay? We don't want to put this in the cup because some of it will stick to the cup. Okay? We definitely don't want to put it in the eyes because then your eyes will be bright red. This is blood red. That's how pure this is. Okay, so I always just take, if you do this, I always take these offhand, put it underneath just in case you spill any. We don't want it to drip on any of your clothing. It's that pure. It's unbelievable. It's like blood red. Okay, but this is 2 things in one. This will take the place of your vitamin D, and you're getting the astaxanthin all at the same time. Okay, before I move on, and again, we have the tech flyer in the back, which breaks all this down. Is there any questions on astaxanthin? Oh, by the way, this comes from comes from the carotenoid family, the carrot family. Okay, is where astaxanthin is from. And another study that I read recently said you would have to consume 1,000 carrots to equal 1 serving of the astaxanthin. So even Bugs Bunny would be jealous with this one. Okay? But that's how powerful this is. Yes?
Does that help cataract?
Yes. I mean, again, we can't make any health claims because we never had any double-blind placebo-controlled studies with cataracts. But again, the phrase we would use is it will slow down the progression of cataracts, of macular degeneration, of any of those more serious eye issues. Okay? The published studies on eye fatigue, depth perception, comparing it to prednisone, that's where the studies are on. But this also will help with all heart issues. This will also help with all your skin. There's studies on astaxanthin that it's taken it for 6 weeks showed 50% improvement in fine lines and wrinkles as well. So eyes, heart, skin is where astaxanthin really has the most research on. Okay? Any other questions? Yes.
How about head injuries? Either one of these, because you have a lot of visual problems after head injuries.
Yeah.
Which one is this? Is this in that one?
No, it's totally separate ingredients, right? Well, it all depends on the head injuries. We're talking concussion, we're talking traumatic brain injury. What are we talking about?
Traumatic brain injury.
Okay, traumatic brain injury, the number one formula for that would be SAMe. Totally separate, SAMe, S-A-M-E. A lot of the newest research that just came out last summer is SAMe is a particular methylator that will actually have a dramatic improvement in all concussion and post-traumatic brain injuries. Okay? Number 2 would be our brain boost. So those things indirectly will help with the brain, and then in the brain will help with the eyes. These would be complementary, but the first 2 things are SAMe and brain boost for any concussions or traumatic brain injuries. So come see me when we're done, and I'll show you that. Okay? Any other questions on this?
I don't have a question, but I had inflammation in my eyes.
Yeah.
And I had been going to an eye doctor, but when I got sick 2 years ago, I just one thing led to another, and I just never got the chance to get back to him.
Yeah.
And I went recently, and they, took pictures of my eyes, and the inflammation from 2 years ago to now was marked improvement.
Marked improvement. Did he ask you what you were doing? Nope. It's amazing, miraculous improvement, but not interested or not even one iota of interest so they could possibly help the next person who walks through the door. Yeah. Well, that's great, though. That's great news that it had helped on. I know you've been doing a lot of great things there. Okay, third thing. ProReds. ProReds, a lot of people have familiar with. This is one of our original formulas. This is a fruit and veggie drink. Dr. Weiner talks about this all the time. When it first came out, he started using this. He went to his optometrist. By the next visit, his vision actually improved. The optometrist was blown away. Didn't ask him what he was taking, but his vision was improved. No interest whatsoever, but his vision improved. Okay? So, a lot of different benefits for the ProReds. Eyes are definitely one of the benefits for this, but also great for the blood, also as well. Great for the immune, great for the liver. And again, it's 5 servings of fruit and veggies per serving, per scoop. Okay? Which is a great amount, great for kids. We have samples of this in the back, so please help yourself. And when we're done, if you haven't ever tried this, okay? So, has a little fruit punch flavor to it. So there's all the different benefits: liver, brain, heart, immune, and for the eyes, which is what our focus is. No pun intended, but lycopene lutein, and astaxanthin. So these are registered trademark names. So anytime you see that circle with the R behind it, okay, these you have to pay for these particular ingredients, but these have a tremendous amount of research behind them. So we are not cutting any corners. A lot of companies do cut corners here. We are not. And so that, again, is an indication that you're using higher quality ingredients. Of course, we want you to eat your fruit and veggies. Latest stats are you need to eat 8 to 10 servings a day. The typical American eats 3, and they count ketchup and French fries as 2 of those 3. Okay, so ProReds is at least half your daily amount. It's actually, I should bump this up, it's actually over $200 worth of fruit and veggies that you're getting in a container, which normally is $45, 30% off, $12 off that price. So it is a way to keep your budget down on a food bill if you're not, again, eating enough of your fruit and veggies. On there, again, you don't have to worry about what's in season. It's a blend of over 40 different fruit and veggies that you typically don't eat all of these things because they're typically not in season. So that's a great way to look at these on that as well, okay? All right, last but not least, fish oil. Fish oil, and again, omegas. Maybe you never thought about omegas with your eyes, but there is a great deal of studies and information research that the eyes taking omegas have been shown to help with macular degeneration, help with dry eyes, even help with glaucoma, okay? Glaucoma using fish oil, omegas. However, and I forgot to bring a bottle here with me, but if we're focusing just on glaucoma, our number 1 formula for that is 7 flowers. 7 flowers, because we look at eye pressure, very similar to blood pressure. So if you have glaucoma, our number 1 would be 7 flowers, 6 a day. 6 a day. Fish oil would be number 2 on the list for glaucoma. So I just want to mention that as well. I'm just going to pass this around if you've never seen this before. We have 3 different sizes. We also have liquids as well. That's the middle size. It's one of the strongest out there, folks, when it comes to what you're getting per soft gel. Fish oil is broken down into 2 main components, EPA and DHA. EPA and DHA. These are the main components. This is what you should look for anytime you are purchasing fish oil. So ours is guaranteed per soft gel, 450 milligrams of EPA, 330 milligrams of DHA. If you do the math there, that's 780 milligrams combined, okay, of EPA, DHA. If you have any type of inflammatory issue, you want to be at 2,000 milligrams or 2 grams, which for us would be 3 a day minimum. Can you take more? Yes, you can definitely take more, but minimum would be 3 a day. So if you have macular degeneration, if you have cataracts, if you have any eye problem whatsoever, dry eyes, which is common, in the wintertime as well, 3 a day, 3 a day. In fact, any type of pain issue or inflammatory issue, 3 a day minimum of the fish oil. Most fish oil on the market is 1/3 this strength. So it's 1/3 the price. So when people see our fish oil and they say, wow, that's a lot compared to what's out there, I'm like, yep, but you have to take 3 times as much. So this is compared to 9 of other companies' fish oil. So again, if you're buying any fish oil anywhere else, you always want to look at the EPA, DHA. We guarantee it. We also added vitamin D. We feel vitamin D is so important, we added it in the fish oil. So per pill, you're getting 500 IUs of D3, okay, as well. And again, the whole idea with fish oil, on the cellular level, you want it to get into the cell, okay? So there's good fats and bad fats. The bad fats are the hydrogenated fats, the trans fats. Okay, they block that signaling agent into the cell. But fish oil opens that up. Now again, it takes 3 months. It takes 3 months to get it into the cell, the good fats. But very, very important. Again, it's a critical, basic foundation for a lot of our health issues. Now, I also want to mention that there's a new way to test for fish oil. It's an international standard to test. So again, because we know every supplement company has a fish oil now, and everybody says theirs is the best and theirs is the greatest, right? So this is another way that we can separate ourselves from everyone else out there, this international standard of fish oil. So basically, it is a 5-star rating, okay? So you get a star for passing all World Health testing categories. You get a star for greater than 60% concentrate. You get a star for oxidation, PCBs, and dioxin levels below normal World Health Organization levels. So we hit every star you can hit, every criteria. So our fish oil is a 5-star rating. There's very few fish oils on the market that can make this claim, okay? So we wanted to emphasize that. We put it on the back of the flyer. I added this slide on the presentation, but I put this flyer on the back that you can see this, okay? And that's all we ask. If you're buying it elsewhere, ask, do they have international standard testing? 5-star rating, the highest standard you can have. We also put our lab analysis on our fish oil on our website. So I don't know if you've looked at our Nutritional Frontiers website, just www.nutritionalfrontiers.com. We actually guarantee the fish oil until the end of the expiration date is at this level, okay? Very few supplement companies do this. Why? Because our competitors now have access to our lab analysis. They can test our fish oil, and if it doesn't test to what this says, they can use it against us. But that's how confident we are that we guarantee purity and potency. We do more testing with our fish oil than any other fish oil in the company. How do we know that? Because we've gone to these labs, and they told us that, wow, you're asking us to test things that no other supplement company has ever asked us for. And it's very expensive to do this type of testing. But that's how certain we are that we stand behind our formulas, that we put it out there for everybody, including our competitors, can use this. So it opens up a can of worms. That's why you don't see many companies do this, by the way, folks, with this. But that's on our website. You have access to that at any time on that. Okay. So those are the big 4. You can do any of them or all of them. Okay, here's some just basic general information. Maintaining good eye health. Okay, last but not least, the most important is your diet. Okay, again, we all learned when we were in grade school, you are what you eat. And sometimes I think we lose that message, don't we? A lot of people forget that. We learned it when we were in kindergarten. You are what you eat, right? So, green leafies, very important. Spinach, kale, collard greens, good fats, organic as much as possible. Know your sources. Good citrus fruits, okay? On that for you there, okay? So that's the program, folks. Pretty simple, but all these will help in some capacity. So if you open up the Vision Solutions real quick, and again, we have extra copies here for you. If you didn't grab one when we're done here. So we list all the options for you for the eyes. You can do any of them or all of them, but if I was prioritizing, I would put 20/20 number 1, Astaxanthin number 2. I would put Omegas number 3, Pro Reds number 4, but they're all very good. And on the other side, we broke down the foods on what to eat for the eyes, but most importantly, we listed the actual ingredients in those foods that are excellent for your eyes. So we took it one step further, emphasizing why these foods are so good for eye health. Okay? On the back, different activity levels, different relaxation and sleep techniques. Again, different options there for you on that. So take this home with you, put it on the fridge, Bring it to the grocery store. If you're not eating these foods, start doing so. Again, little steps lead to big steps every day. Any questions on that? Makes sense, right? Okay. Okay, folks, my time is up. I appreciate it. Again, we made some extra copies, so if you have any friends, neighbors, family members who weren't able to make it, please grab some extra ones for them. I'll be in the back. If you have any additional questions, I'm here to help you all week long. Again, everything is 30% off, so again, if you're any of these interest you, now is the time on that very aggressive discount. Thank you. Have a great rest of the day. Bye now.